Discuss possible approved minutes from the December 15th, 2025 special meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Number 7, we're gonna skip a little bit. Number 7, discussion regarding Christmas decorations. Mayor, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Yep. All right. So, I sent, Keith some websites. I also got a catalog in the other day. I don't know if you guys are familiar with how much these lights and stuff cost, but they are crazy expensive. We'll kind of use this as an example, but if you're looking at a basic snowflake that attaches to a pole is $800. And that's one of the low-end items. If you want to go to larger displays, we're in the $20,000 to $30,000 price range. So, I think it's going to be my recommendation that you guys decide who you want to be a part of this conversation, and consider the possibilities of what we could do in phases. To go out and do a complete display, whammo, you're looking $100,000. And that's just
You'll
not,
touch it even for 100.
no. But one of the things that Frank and I talked about was, we've got 21 poles around the park, 21 light poles. There's a possibility that we might be able to get some color-changing LEDs in those. And then maybe one of the ideas would be link those poles with they've got in here some garland that'll stretch 50 feet or whatever. String garland between, change the lights and put a light on the fountain as phase 1. And then maybe next year, look at what we need to do in 27 and 28, and kind of slowly build it back up. But the other thing that would also do is allow the parks guys, I'm just gonna say it, the parks guys to put things up that are a little easier to maintain. And then, making sure that it's stuff that is, LED and not, the C7s or whatever they've been using. But I think the group's gonna have to get this together and decide what they wanna do, what's practical, and then let me know we're gonna have to find some capital for it.
How much of a budget is feasible? I know that Frank uses a lot of his already through different projects that we already have right now. And I know that because from what I looked at, that, I think it was a snowball or a globe. And it was like $22,000 or $23,000.
Yeah,
But it
for a
was
walkthrough
something-
snow globe,
it was
yeah.
But I thought that would, that's pretty nice. And then if for $50,000, if we do a total investment of $50,000, is that gonna cover it?
Well,
And Can we have businesses, or could we go as a
correct.
partnership maybe?
So, yeah, some of the things that I thought about were, one, you look at most communities, even like Honor Heights, and they kind of like the old adopt a highway. You adopt a tree or you adopt something, that would be an option to designate certain areas and say, here's what, if RCB, for example, wants to decorate the bridge, well, here's the standards, here's what we expect, here's what you have to use, and then that's yours to decorate. They buy into that. Those funds go directly to this campaign. I'd give him a hand signal, but he's not looking.
Are we good? Is that the road we think we're gonna go down?
That's really something that I want you guys to start that discussion.
So,
The other option was, we do it in phases. That's the only affordable way. I don't care who you are. It's gonna have to be done in phases. But one of the things that we could consider is, sell off the stuff we have now that works, apply that to, we get a budget together, we figure out what kind of capital we want, but start with a wish list, just like we're doing with the pool task force. Let's see what's feasible, let's see what the desire is, then let's move to the feasibility. Problem is, we wait too long, those prices are only gonna go up. And I think we're gonna need to have something in the budget for the 26-27 budget, capital for that. I can't at this point say what will be available. I don't think that would be fair for me to throw out there.
So kind of going back to some of the stuff we're dealing with now as far as maintenance and stuff on it long-term, and, you know, what's it gonna cost to keep it up, and who's gonna put it up, and I know that it's a big deal for the parks right now, because it's just Frank and a couple of people, and the more of that stuff you put up, the more maintenance it is.
Correct.
Throughout the, you know, days, vandalism and so forth, so.
So I say, if we go to a system where we're more overhead, you know, the tops of the light poles, string between the tops of the poles, you're less likely to see that ground vandal.
Right.
Wait, what did Frank say, the geese? The geese that chewed it up. But the other thing that might be an opportunity, and I've just kind of, and I say barely touched base with them, is if we could do something that would promote walkability during the holiday season in the park and in the colder months, we might be able to have a discussion with TSET or with Hope to see if there are some grant monies to, and they may have some funds for that, that's what they do, but if we could find a way to say, we're doing it this way to help promote people getting out and walking even when it's cold. Those are options we could try to look at, see if there's grant monies available. But we're gonna have to first decide what route we wanna take.
Well, it seems like the thing to do is do that, look at phases, what's that look like? If we have a plan in phases, you know, what it's gonna look like, what it's gonna cost, how feasible is it? Even if you have phases, you can have some businesses adopt a phase or adopt the bridge, or you can still do that. Does Main Street play into this at all?
Not into the park, because it's outside of their corridors, so is the Fund 68, that's first to first, Elliott to 69. So it's outside of that corridor, and they're really taking care of the ones, that are on the Main Street corridor, so the wreaths, the lighting on top of the buildings, they're doing all of that. So, you know, maybe some discussion with the chamber boards, or,
That's a little broader area.
you know what I mean, yeah, it'll cover some of that,
Raising and stuff too.
right, reach
I
out.
talked to some people about that. Said, what do you think about the park? And then they said, you know, I'd rather see a lot more stuff done downtown on Main Street to brighten that whole area up too. So you're gonna have different opinions all over the place.
Yeah,
So probably the best thing would be, let's get a subcommittee set up to figure that out. Anybody, you three gentlemen up here?
I'd recommend this one.
Well, I talked to Sherry, and she's very interested in,
Yeah.
I didn't talk to Pam yet, but I know that Sherry was very interested, and she actually had some ideas about reaching out to GRDA and a couple others to help do it, so we're on, you and her, and Chris, would you be all right, or Mr. Jackson?
Tell you what, sitting here looking at this, what comes to mind to me is it would probably be good to get us a fabricator that understands how these things are built, stuff, because I'm looking at these Christmas trees, some of this stuff, I think we could actually, you know, things like that, but they cost. This one's $2,300, you know?
Well, and let me say this, the 4 or 5 websites that I found and kind of
Oh,
searched,
man.
they're all dollar for dollar, the same price bracket.
Yeah,
mean,
and I'm
it's-
just wondering if some of this could be, like this garland,
That's what I think, that's what I talked to Frank about, running those. So with that, you'd run a wire along the top, and then you'd string those between around, and some of those are lighted, that could go around the perimeter of the park, not necessarily the light poles inside, but just around the walking trail. And I think that would be a great start.
yeah, and I think that'd be pretty high impact, it'd be something that's noticeable, and my wife used to do this at our house.
Yeah.
And it was really just garland and running lights through it. Of course, the biggest thing is the wiring, you have to have electrical.
And all of those lamps have-
The structure's not bad, but.
Correct.
When you start adding the lights and the wiring and too commercial.
There is.
grade and things
Yeah.
like that, that's probably where that cost is.
We have snowflakes that go on most of the poles, and we were actually wanting to keep the snowflakes. So,
Yeah.
because they're already rigged up and mounted, and there's an electric outlet on each pole for 'em.
Yes, so you do want to keep the snowflake.
Yeah, we were talking about keeping those.
So probably what we need to do is get a list of what you all want to keep as far as Parks Department,
I just don't know how many snowflakes we have, if those were the only ones that we were interested in.
whatever, I would probably get a list of those and see what we want to keep, and then if there's any out there we want to get rid of, and just
Well,
wholesale them, get them out, and then.
well, and even on that, there's a couple of options, you know, we've got the cross in Adair, and I guess I didn't see it this year, but I guess he's got quite the display of similar Christmas lights. That could be a donated item, or we could find a town, I know, Salina had said they would be interested in purchasing some of them. I just don't want to sell a neighboring community our trash.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, it needs to either be donated or thrown away.
Yeah,
But if we have some that just need a little bit of work and they're interested in encumbering that, then that's on them, but I think we need to have an inventory of what's functioning and where it's
Yep.
at.
agreed.
From the park department's perspective, I think your priority is low maintenance.
It's just the vandalism.
Keep it simple,
issue.
low maintenance, up and down.
Yeah, we just have a lot of problems with vandalism.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got lots going on.
Awesome. Well, sounds like we got a plan, and
So you guys want to put together a
we'll put
subcommittee,
a
get that?
subcommittee together, and I'll send out some information, and Sherry, and
Get together. Compare notes, okay.
awesome. All right, Mayor, I appreciate it, sir.
Thank you.
Want to give them back this book?
Let's go back up to,
Sorry, did you decide who all's on the committee? Subcommittee?
let's, preferably Sherry Alexandra. We can put Pam Buffington if she would like to help. And then,
I'd be glad to.
Mr. Reeser.
Awesome.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Good?
Good. Yeah.
Okay. Number 3, park report. Mr. Powell's not here, so I'm assuming we have some great news.
We started off with, they're working on the bathrooms, building the new bathroom at the tennis court. So we've been over there working on that with the street department, cleaning up the area net. We took down the tree that was right next to it.
I saw that the other day when I drove by there. I thought, maybe it's
Yeah.
gonna look different there.
It was completely ate up with mistletoe, and it was just easier to get it out of the way now while the building wasn't there.
Yeah.
So we went in and did that. And then, like I said, we've been working on that area. We just got some signs that the mayor had me, I put them up today.
I'm gonna tell you, going in there and looking at that, I did not realize how bad that had got, but
Yeah,
it was sketchy, bad.
And then, other than working on that and, just general stuff that we've tried to keep up in the park, we've worked with the street department for the last week, moving snow. So, that's pretty much.
Any issues anywhere, any trees or?
No, well, today we did 2 repairs. Somebody backed into the pipe fence at Centennial and at Whitaker. And so we went and we welded both of those up today, so that's about it.
Thinking about that, do we need to put something for parking, for protection there? When you put that new building up and underneath that awning, because you're gonna have somebody that's gonna wanna park underneath
yeah,
that.
we
That's
probably
something.
will have to do something.
It's as close as it is to the road right there. I'm assuming it will probably,
Somebody will try to pull them under there, yeah, that's.
you
not
know
a
they
bad
will. I would probably put that on your wish list of things that we probably need to look at,
I'll
especially
bring
right
that
there.
up with Frank.
Yeah. Anything going on at the cemeteries that we need to,
Not that I know of. I know that they've just been out, they've been doing funerals. They've had a couple of them even during this snow. They were out clearing the roads. As far as I know out there, they're going.
all equipment's good, no problems, nothing like that? Awesome.
So I don't know if you guys are aware, but these guys helped out, tremendously helped out with clearing the streets and the sidewalks. We went out and we bought snow blowers this year, last year. We bought 2 snow blowers and some kind of a goofy plow thing that was
Plow.
a joke. It was like a motorized plow with treads.
It's a little.
And we
tank.
thought it would be like, hey, I'm gonna do the
Street
plowing for you, but all it does is just rolls while you walk with it. You still gotta steer it. But we went back and, between the last snow and this one, six, I think we're up to six, maybe 8 snow plows now, or snow blowers. And so these guys did a lot of the sidewalks downtown, which freed up the street guys.
Looked really good too.
To go and do. So I want to make sure that they get credit for stepping in. And they did that kind of in an exchange for help that the street department had given them with some projects. So really appreciate that collaboration
Interdepartmental
between
cooperation.
departments.
It looked good. That was one of the things I was gonna say. I was very impressed with the way it was very clear. That's probably the clearest I've ever seen our downtown ever after a snowfall, ever. It was very good. So
Let's
whoever
hope we
did
don't
it,
have to do
everybody that did it, it looked really good. Sidewalks and even, again, the Main Street, usually we'd always have those big center forever, and they're gone, which was
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, it really freed them up. And, it's just good to work together. I mean, that's really what we need to be doing more of. So I appreciate you guys helping.
Yeah, good work. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Awesome. All right, Dennis, golf course report. Next couple of yours.
Good evening, everyone. Of course, January would end up being a really good month for the golf course. So we,
In spite of the snow.
yeah, despite the last little bit of snow week there, so, right now, we're trending about 50,000 ahead of, the previous 7 months, which is quite a bit, because we were so busy last year. I thought, man, if we can just do the same, but we're actually trending a good amount ahead, so, but, you never know what February and March bring, and then April, May, and June are our busy months, so.
Dennis, would you say that is increased revenues or part of it's reduced expenses?
No,
All revenue.
that's just revenue. I'm just talking about just revenue is 50,000 ahead. So, and that's just, yeah, more memberships, more green fees, so a lot of people utilizing our golf course.
There was a little bit of a price increase in there for a period of time, wasn't there? Has that kicked in yet, or?
Oh, that was, we did that last year, yeah, so has nothing to do with these numbers here, these 7 months. That was before that. So, yeah, it's just really good. We rebuilt the bunker on hole number 1. It didn't have a drain in it, so every time it rained, it'd be full of water. But we went in and installed a drain in it, and MUB come out and helped us do a trench. So like the mayor said, it's just good that these people are able to help us, and we'll be glad to help them any way we can help them. But then we put new sand in it, and so that's the last bunker. All of our bunkers have good drains in them, good sand in them, so they're all in really good shape. So,
Does our greens look pretty good after this weather?
yes, yeah, so, I went out right before I came here and took some pictures. The greens look really good. The bent grass
Didn't lose
handles the
any?
cold weather good. And actually, the snow on top of it is a big insulator. So that snow really insulates everything good, but, the ones I looked at, we had 7 of them still had some snow on them. The other 14 were clear, so.
I noticed in Wausau, they was covering all theirs, and
Yeah, now they have.
they were super concerned they were gonna lose some, and I
Yeah.
think they did lose a couple, but I'm
Now,
not.
their Bermuda grass, they're a warm season grass in Owasso, we're a cool season grass. So ours handle the cool temps really good. It's the hot temps that ours don't handle so good if we're not careful. But, yeah, theirs handles, that Bermuda can handle the heat, no problem. But, yeah, if it gets too cold, they can actually lose greens, and they gotta go in there and resod. They don't have no other choice but to resod it. So
One of the
hopefully.
golf pros is a friend of a group that we run around with, and he was saying they think they've lost 1 or 2, so.
Yeah, it gets, that cold temperature, we're in transition zone, and there's several area courses that switched to Bermuda because it was easier to keep, they thought, than bent, and, it's about a 50-50 deal. You fight Bermuda in the wintertime, which you have zero control over, Mother Nature to some extent. I mean, you can cover them, but I've heard of guys, the cover's blowing off the green, and then now the green's exposed, and,
Well, it takes a big force. I mean, they had like 25 or 30 people
yeah.
look how big some of our greens are. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
some of theirs is a little bit bigger than ours even.
Yeah.
It would,
It takes a
imagine how long.
massive crew to go out and cover them.
Plus you gotta store
Cover
everything.
them, and, yeah, so it's kind of, when do you want to do, your labor in the wintertime or the summertime, you know, so. But, yeah, I'm glad we
awesome.
still have bent grass.
Yeah, it's awesome, man, because as long as we didn't lose anything, that was really
Yeah.
good, because it was
So-
come in pretty quick, and it was a really big transition in our weather.
And the worst thing you can do with grass, any kind of grass, is that it can get dry freeze. And I was out of town, I was on vacation, but I actually talked to the guys, hey, before this cold weather gets there, let's go down and give everything a good watering. Water that grass where it's not gonna be dry. It'll really help protect the root system, so they did a good job with that, I think. We've taken out a few trees, you know, at that time of the year where, while it was dry, you know, we had a pretty good little dry spell there, and they was able to get out and do some tree work, and then when the weather hit, they've been doing all of our equipment. We're probably about 75% through our equipment, so we're really in good shape, you know. We've got all of February, which hopefully we can get that done and do some other maintenance things that we need to do. Did have one guy, I don't know if y'all seen any of the Facebook stuff, but we've caught, I think, up to 5 hogs in our traps.
I was getting ready to say, have you been still catching
So,
some?
through all this cold spell, we had no damage, so usually you catch them, they move out of the area, and I think maybe they've moved out because we hadn't seen no signs. Usually during a cold spell, there's nobody out there, so they come out even more often when there's nobody around. During the when weather's good enough, people are always out there, they're out there playing till dark and stuff, and so they tend to stay away more. But when we've had spells where wouldn't be nobody out there due to the weather, and that's when they like to come out. But we had no damage, so that's really good. Because they can tear up stuff. Man, they're a mess. So, you can see we've been busy all winter booking events. This is just the first 3 months. So, we got 12 events on those first 3 months, and half of those, 6 of them, are kids in junior high and high school tournaments. So, this is our spring season. We did a lot of the tournaments for the schools and kids, and so that's a big part of that. And we still have a lot of things that we're in the process of working on. We still got a little bit more work to do on our pump station. It's coming along really good, so I think we'll have that thing in really good shape this year. It's gonna be the best it's probably been in a while. We still have to do our bridge approaches, still want to stripe our parking lot, get it all striped up, and then we'll, March 8th or March 9th and 10th, we'll be aerifying our greens, so that'll be our next process, go in there and aerify them and sand them, top dress them, get them ready for the year. Other than that, that's about it.
Our bathrooms, have we got?
We've done some work on those, just trying to remodel what we can. Now, the new set of bathrooms, I've got to get with the engineer, because the guy that drew up that plan, we're going to have to, the mayor wants to go with the other engineer, so we'll go talk to him and
Okay.
get him started on that set of plans.
How long do you think it'll take to do those bathrooms?
Well, I figure I'm
In a
hoping.
perfect world,
Yeah,
let's say that.
yeah, if things went good, it shouldn't take more than 3 months, I wouldn't think. But kind of the way things seem to go, I'd probably say end of summer.
Okay.
Refresh my memory on where the new ones are gonna go.
So if you leave hole 17 and you go up to 18 tee box towards that other set of restrooms,
Right,
before you get there on the left,
okay.
There's a set of trees right there.
yeah, that set of trees, that big open area to the left, right
Okay.
there.
Great place.
Yeah,
Really.
I think it's
Nothing-
a
there's
perfect
nothing around
spot
it.
for it. And we'll actually have that cart path part of the overhang, I think. You know, we'll try to, that way you just pull right down that cart path if it's raining or something and be under the awning out there.
So Ron's never hit any balls in that area before.
No,
Is that close to, is that close to the fairway?
no, it's not close to no fairway.
Well, that's where, I just can't find it.
No, you know, I can tell you, you've never hit any over there.
I have not, is that good or bad?
That's good. That is good. But,
But once we
They're
get,
never straight, but
once we get started on it, then I figured I'd have some signage made, put a sign out there, future home of our restaurant.
I was gonna say, that's probably,
Promote it a little bit.
that's probably the best place to even build them at, because it's not gonna be in the way of
Nothing.
anything.
It's
I mean,
perfect.
maybe just 18's box a little bit, but you could always
No.
adjust that
Yeah.
either way, but
I don't think it will be, but yeah, it's a
at
perfect.
any, that's what I say, any place, that's
It's a perfect place.
So, yep.
It's gonna be exciting to have some new bathrooms.
Yes,
out
it
there. I
is.
think that will be a
Nice
big.
clean ones with some water and everything, yeah.
Did you get your signage up for the new signs at the Cherokee Nation and,
Yeah, yeah, those are all up. They look nice. They're beautiful signs, yeah. Yeah, they did a great job with those.
okay,
Walking trail signs, yeah, they're
Have you had many walkers out there? I mean.
just a
not really.
handful. I think we keep a list out there, but 4 or 5, but, you know, this fall and everything was so busy that, you know, they come out and walk. It's like golfers were just everywhere, so not a lot of places for them to walk.
Right.
you know, saying that, because I've noticed that the golf, if we look at the numbers, that you're continually go up.
Yeah.
Are we at some point need to start thinking about adding another parking area, like
Yeah,
behind a set of trees where,
yes, yeah, that,
right there?
yeah, that's
Where the
gonna have
house
to be
was
our,
and stuff through there?
exactly, that's where we're gonna have to expand it, because that's where they park anyway, but
Yep.
when it's wet, it's not good, you know, because there's no gravel or anything.
Wonder if we
so.
need to go, maybe have them come in off that other road.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could pay, I wonder what to pave it'd be quite a bit, but it would be nice to at least have it rocked there and.
Have some good quality rocking, yeah,
Yeah,
'cause it gets
and
busy.
I think we
it's-
need to think about doing that
Yeah.
too.
Where would that be in the sequence of things to do in like a master plan, do you think? I mean, because there's lots of things out there.
Well,
Yeah,
in the master plan, I don't know, but I mean, if you think about it, if you're gonna have that many people, that's always an issue, that's always a
parking
parking
has
issue.
really become an issue.
And
That
you're,
may
Last year,
have
anyway.
priority. I don't know, I just asked the question.
I mean, I think it's
Yeah.
something that we really need to put on our radar,
Yeah.
because as you add more, you know,
Yeah.
And that's, you know, of course, and then you start looking at, if we get some golf carts, if we go from a fleet from 50 to 60, well, that's 20 more people out there. In an event, we need 20 more parking places, because most of them come by themselves, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I mean, it's,
Guess a lot
yeah,
of
it's kind of one of the things,
Usable it is from a cost standpoint on where that
Yeah.
lands.
Fixing
If
some
you want
gravel
to,
and-
you ask.
well, I mean, I think now's the time to look at it, especially since you're
Yeah.
talking about as much, if you're getting ready to add golf carts, and, I mean, you're saying 20 players, but that doesn't mean if you have an event,
that's what I'm saying, we go from
if you have people, they're gonna bring their grandparents and
Yeah.
and whomever, I mean, you're filling up a small area.
yeah, it's like, more like a 20% increase in parking needed, you know, from, when we have
Could
bigger
you get
tournaments.
together some
Yeah.
idea of what would be reasonable to do back there and how much it would cost?
Yeah, I'll kind of
That-
measure off some area and
What's that
see what,
look like even?
see what it
What if
takes
you do
to
it from
grab,
behind the-
for sure.
That cart stall or, old barn area.
Cart building, yeah,
From there to where the house was, back probably to that set of trees, yeah.
yeah.
Where they could walk in from
Mm-hmm.
the south side too? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Are there a lot of guide wires coming down off the?
There's some if you get too far to the north, but yeah, we can, I mean, people go drive right past them. They work their way in there towards them trees. They like to park around them trees because of the shade. But I'll figure out, like, I'll kind of map out a little area that
Okay.
would
I
be
think
good and see how much it
It'd
would
be
cost to
interesting to see, because I
put some
think,
gravel in there and make it where it's a nice, suitable parking area.
because slowly but surely, it's there, because if you,
Yeah.
I mean, you come out on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday, and it's packed.
That's our growing pains that we're experiencing, you know, with more people and needing more parking area, which is good.
I mean, it's a good problem to have that you're having to talk about parking already, so.
Right.
And it's been there, I mean, last year was that way, so you add more carts, you're definitely gonna add more places you need to park.
That's a good point.
All right. Anything else? Anybody?
I was gonna say, I think the only thing else we got to talk about is, the golf carts, but as far as buildings and stuff, I think we've addressed most of that. Have we done anything that are we gonna do anything on the golf stalls that people are renting?
We've
Oh,
done, yeah, we have
did the
done,
roof, and we did a bunch of that stuff. Is there anything else that,
we've done,
needs to be in
replaced
there?
almost all the doors on that original building. It's got a new roof on it, pretty new roof, just did it last year, and then we've went around replacing almost all the doors.
okay,
So we still got a few to do, but we've replaced a bunch of them doors. So they're all really nice, new hinges, new 4x4s, everything. And so those doors are really good. We still have a little bit of work to do. We're not done yet.
Well, it sounds like, I think we reviewed this in the past, and it's been brought up this evening, just need that prioritized list of projects, initiatives that we need to take on,
Yeah.
kind of get a rough idea of how much we got in front of us.
It would be good to have that, because that may be fluid. The priority right now, and it takes time to get there, there may be something else happens, but you have it all in front of you, and even if it's fluid, you can kind of move things
Yeah.
around to what's important.
We have that, and I'll print that out next time and bring it. And like I said, everybody can get updated on it.
And at some point, we really need to review that master plan and then look at pro shop.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do for a pro shop?
There's some big things there.
I mean, there is some big things, but I would just like to ask a question. If, let's just say, we updated it to what, you know where the Fat Toad is out there. What if we updated it to a modern style
Yeah.
pro shop? How many more people would we get in? One. Number two, if we did do that, you know, you add more features to it, would we rent it out for people that want to have weddings at the golf course? And, you know, what other options, you know, opportunities are we missing because
Yeah.
we've not done that?
Yeah.
And then what type of money will that cost? Because I think Dennis will tell you that where that sits out now is prime real estate, you know, that's more parking and everything else. If we moved, we'd have to jockey some holes around, but at the end of the day, if we move that pro shop,
It'd be sweet.
it'd be, yeah.
Become a gathering place for the community in a lot of ways.
And how many other cities would take, you know, Salina doesn't have a place like that they could bring their people if they
Yeah.
wanted to do it. Locust Grove, Shodo, there's not a lot of places
Right.
that would have it. I mean, most of them come to Pryor anyway, but that would definitely help the Locusts and the Shodos, or the Locusts and Salinas and
Yep.
that area to bring people. And the nation may be interested in even, you know, they have they've got several places close, but if they want to entertain some of their people or guests, what a nice place to do it at. So,
Yep.
I mean, there's lots of opportunity, I think, if we look at doing that, but we can kick the can down the road so long, but at some point, we've got to put our foot down and decide what is it we want
Sometimes
to
you
do.
look at that stuff and you go, well, that's just insurmountable. That's just no way. But if you don't have a dream and you don't put it out there in front of you,
Gotta
you don't
start.
start there, you'll never get there.
Yep.
So,
Right.
Start there.
so
Yep.
it just won't be.
And I'll just throw out, I think, something that it would be helpful for us, and maybe you have this information, of what's attracting people to the Pryor Golf Course. That we understand that, because, and I know this sounds counterintuitive, sometimes the worst thing for a business is some prosperity. Because you have to be, you want to make sure that it's not just a cycle that you're in. And
Right.
and you get your fixed cost up. And so we really want to make sure that we understand and why people are coming, and make sure we invest in those things that will continue that. I remember having this discussion with a printer here in town who was printing a whole bunch of books, had a business that he was doing work for, and they were printing them hand over fist. And I said, why aren't you expanding? He said, he was too dependent upon that one customer. He
Yeah.
said, if they go, and guess what? 2 years down the road,
They went.
they went. And he said, that's what I have to be concerned about. So it's ideally keeping our fixed costs to a minimum, and our variable costs, you know, we can handle that if the costs are variable. And when we're talking about some of these improvements, I'm just saying, as we think about this, and I think it'd be helpful if you can articulate what you see, you know, makes Pryor a place that people want to come and play golf.
What's the drivers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understand our business.
The biggest thing that we hear day in and day out is the quality of the course.
You know, it may be the best
And
place to start
compared to
with
the
something
price.
like that is, as the people go in and out, you know, do a little survey. What makes you come here?
Yep.
Okay? what's the most important things to you, okay? Because you got some people that say, now, these greens are always good, and they are,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, we get that a
You got
lot.
some people that say, well, I can always get on, and it's not rushed,
Yeah.
so, those.
Well, let me just throw something out here, because, and this is what was going through my head when we're talking about this. We have to understand, we have a course that has a group of members, which is really unusual for a public course to sell memberships. I know
Yep.
there's a few, I guess, that do, but a lot of our rounds, and do you know off the top of your head what percentage of our rounds, members versus greens fee?
I think the membership rounds is, I want to say, right around 40%.
Okay. So if you think about 40% of our play are people that pay a fixed cost. It's not, and they live local typically. And I don't know how much they spend with you in the pro shop, or how much, do they allow us, it's a fixed cost that they're paying, so we're not getting those incremental dollars. They come out and play for.
Anyway, yeah.
And I know I tend to focus on those things, but it is something we want to pay attention to, is understand our product mix, what kind of people we have, and our whole membership is something that can blindside us if we're not careful about how we're making money.
Right. I mean, I can agree and appreciate that, and I think looking at it from, it's like anything new comes in, they'll all rush to it at one time until the new runs off of it, and then you'll see what your true traffic numbers are. I do think, we've got a good product, how can we shine it up some more? Maybe that's a
Yeah.
better way of saying, and I do think, though, we need to do some type of upgrade for a pro shop and update all that right through there. Not that it's, good Lord, when was it built? In the 60s probably?
1860?
Yeah,
Yeah.
had 100 years.
50s.
I mean, when you think about it, it's
Yeah.
like, livelihood, if you want usefulness, we dealt with the swimming pool, and you start telling somebody how old something is, and they're like, can't be that old. It is. This is 26 now, and, it don't take long, that math gets away, and it's just part of, like anything. I understand the bones are good and everything else, and I'm not saying I disagree. I just would like to see either one, we do some type of modernization in it, functionality wise, maybe do a 2-story something there to where instead of, I know we're always talking about having a pro, a house for the pro. If we did a 2-story, we could actually put to the top maybe and the pro that's above it or something, whatever that looks like, but it's something to at least we have some type of idea, because as we go forward, I'm sure you're gonna come to us one day and say, this is my number and this is the day I'm out.
Yeah.
Figure it out. And I would like to have that done way before then, so we know which way we're going down the road at least.
It's always about trying to just add more value to the customer.
Yeah.
That's one way, the more value.
What's the
we
value
add.
proposition to the customer?
And, we can only do so much to the course without making some real expensive improvements out there, but yeah.
Is that something too that we need to talk about? Do you see to where the course needs to be, redone?
Well, we've done the
Change.
bunkers, because that
Right,
was the
but I
thing
mean-
from other people, we'd get, we
Course
had
layout.
surveys and people, and, even people leave, Google reviews, and so we
Right.
pay attention to those. Restrooms and bunkers was kind of the number one thing, and so, I think made all of our bunkers really good now, so, and we're gonna work on the restrooms, so.
If money wasn't an object, what would be the first, besides, let's say, the clubhouse? What else would be on your to-do if money wasn't an object?
That'd be the practice facility and teaching area, because that helps grow the game. You get kids out there and give them a place to really practice and learn the game, and adults and everything. If you have the proper facilities to teach, it definitely grows the game,
How much would that cost if you were gonna do that?
Just like if you built a new
Practice.
clubhouse up there.
No, just to practice.
Oh, just a practice facility, without doing a survey up there on the quality of the dirt and everything, you could spend, probably, $700,000-800,000 real easy.
Could that be a place to where we regrow our grass for our?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of times, you can have, make it and there's other,
Nursery.
that's kinda a thing that a lot of golf courses have done. They have the back of their driving range, and they'll take
Nursery.
grass off of that one, a nursery out there, So,
And I just things are popping in my head. And
yeah,
Sorry.
I think the one risk that we have on this, and I'll just say this, because I'll forget it next time, is our golf pros, the dentists. I don't know how many more years you're talking about staying,
he's getting thinner.
but, well, I'll ask you a point blank question, maybe give us some insight here into, when you leave, what do you think the odds are that we're gonna find somebody like you to replace you? And don't,
Realistically,
Yeah.
Yeah.
5-10%,
yeah,
That's what I think
I'd say
too.
that might be a high.
yeah.
I was gonna say, I do too, that's what my number was.
We're not gonna find, too many people are gonna walk in with your background and experience,
Right,
and breadth of experience.
yeah,
And I think we have to understand that for those of us that have lived through the cycle of pros that
Yeah.
we've had over the years, they don't all come packaged like Dennis with that background and experience. And I'll tell you what, your pro is key. If you don't have the pro, the wheels can fall off.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen. And so again, I just talk about, as we talk about these, we've got a good thing going now. I mean, this
No,
is
I don't
great to hear
disagree.
about this.
yeah.
We just, as we're looking at it and going forward, we want to understand there's rewards and there's risk. And we have to understand that the risk may not be the obvious things. It may be some things that, when if it happens,
You know, there's a lot of, this is broad, there's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff here. How much, are there golf course consultants that can come in and assist putting those things together so that, because we've talked about this forever, but, and Dennis is the best voice for that, but, that may be overwhelming to put something like that together that's gonna carry us into the future. Are there golf course consultants that, for a fee, they will come in and evaluate your course, talk to you what your needs, develop that master plan, have it so that we can have some legs on it for 5 years down the road? Or is that a waste of money? I don't know that it's a waste of money.
I think the obvious to me would be what we don't know. I mean, we all see what we see when we go out
Yeah,
there,
but you
and
don't
what
have-
Dennis sees, but what are we missing that we don't see?
And bring somebody like that alongside Dennis while he's here, okay, so that we have something that works functionally for our market.
Right, that's the key right there. You gotta work with our market, and, the USGA does some consulting. I can find some figures from what they would cost to come up here and evaluate
That would
and have a
cost.
plan, but,
It'd be interesting to see.
So Dennis, we could, the consulting fee, I understand be good, but I think the best resource is you, as far as maybe if you would start looking out for people that you know that might be interested in coming in, and because you would know the qualifications, what people can do, and
For his replacement.
like, I'm just gonna give you,
Yeah.
when I knew I was getting ready to retire, I looked around, I knew who I thought would be a good replacement. And so we hired him to come in 2 years before I retired, and then he came in and it was perfect.
right.
And I'm just thinking, do you know people that might be persuaded to come to Pryor?
Yeah, I don't know anybody off the top of my head, and I've been thinking on that, who could
Okay.
eventually replace me, and I don't have anybody off the top of my head, but, have to get down and dig a little bit more and talk to more people and see, but, having somebody there's only one or two that I know of that's kinda qualified like I am to run both ends, and that's the problem right there, is to have somebody that can do both ends of it.
Well, and
I just don't,
Dennis has got spraying license, he's got
Yeah.
a grass license, I mean, when you talk about everything he has, the likelihood that somebody else is gonna say that is gonna go,
Yeah,
I've got 2 out of the 5, or, whatever that number is.
right.
And what is what is our settle point of what we're willing to settle for or settle to get? Because I don't think, just like you said, there's not too many people that carry every license or
Right.
everything that you do. It's just not very big.
That goes back to what Chris was talking about. If you hire a good quality person up in the pro shop, because that generates the revenue, then you need to hire somebody on the maintenance to maintain that golf course. You're gonna be up there quite high in salaries, and then now you've raised your level up of have-tos to meet, or you have to start, if you have a downtime, but, that's kinda goes back to, you gotta be prepared for the dips and be able to make it through those.
I mean, just like the equipment, when we bought those mowers and stuff, remember that? When everybody was like, what's the best? And then it said, well, this'll work, but if we do this, we can speed up our mowing, we can.
Yeah, a lot
That,
better.
everything was better if we would just spend a little bit more money and get a little bit better mower. And it
It's
literally
paid off.
made all the difference in
It
the world.
really paid off. Yeah.
But that was the difference.
Yeah, and it was a huge
It's a
discussion, I
huge.
remember, yeah.
So it's like, well, what is your qualifications that your, must-haves, and then here's your bonuses if you get. I mean, let's just say, Dennis, you say your time is 5 years, but that sounds like a long time. Well, not really, not in this day and time,
Pretty
because
quick.
you've got to start shopping pretty quickly to get somebody. They just don't fall off the trees, and then you got to start putting them in place. So, I mean, we need to have I think that's a discussion by itself, exactly what we're looking for. Because, like you said, it's where our golf course is set up is very unique to any other place. And that's something that we're gonna have to navigate before we ever find a pro. How are we gonna navigate that? What are we gonna do? Who's gonna take care of it? So there's lots of variables in our situation, but I think we've got to start relatively quick to make this happen.
Yep.
So maybe let's try to let's try to do this. If we got a meeting tonight, do I have to do one at the end of the month? I'm supposed to, correct?
I mean, you can cancel that one if you want. The one at the end of the month.
No, let's cancel it and let's do Marches. Let's set up the qualifications, what we're looking for, as far as have Dennis write down everything or give us a list of what he does, responsibilities and stuff like that, and then let's
Could
Like,
it
make
make
a
sense to
to-do
have
list.
a meeting that's the agenda item?
that's it. That's what I think. That's what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's just do an agenda, just,
Smart.
as far as that. Maybe we do a special meeting sometime in there, but I think we have to have one to have a clear identificator of what this is, everything this does, and this is qualifications, and I think it'll be helpful because the man sitting beside us here can help us walk through, what we don't know, that we're not thought about, and, both ways, and let's just get a fine line, what it is we're looking for, because I think if we don't, time will be here, and then what do we do?
I can put that gather all that information up and then just email it to everybody ahead of time.
Let's
That
just,
way you can,
let's just say that Dennis's qualifications say this, and the market says that somebody qualified like Dennis wants $200,000. Well, that's gotta go to city council, because that's a completely different budget number for what that job's being held for, I'm sure, isn't it?
yeah.
Just be prepared, we're gonna have sticker shock.
Well, I know, that's what I'm saying, that's the reason why I had this conversation now, because,
We're gonna have sticker shock.
yeah,
And part of it is, I don't wanna get sidetracked yet, but we're in Pryor, Oklahoma.
yep, exactly
We're
right.
not in
Tulsa.
Tulsa, we're not in a big metropolitan area. And it sometimes takes, not everybody wants to live in a small community, and, I mean, that's some of the things we have to overcome too, so,
Do we have any prior graduates out there that are in the golf pro business?
Not that I'm aware of right now.
They all grow up and
I've tried
go
to
into
talk
the
to some of them,
insurance
encourage them
business,
to
make more money.
do that, but none of them. that I
Go
know
play
of.
golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that would be most helpful to us at least to do, I know we kind of got sidetracked there for a minute, but it would, to me, I think it's important that if we're trying to,
Good conversation.
well, I
Yep.
mean, there's some identifiers that we need to identify pretty quickly. I mean,
Yep.
we're talking about 25, whenever he was talking about the Christmas lights, that's what kind of put it in my head is, all right, we're talking about next year's budget, we're doing it in June, so, I mean, it doesn't take long. We'll have to do something quickly to get to where we need to be, so. All right, so that was Dennis's report. Number 5, discuss possible recommend council action to accept a bid to be recommended by the park boards for the purchase of 60 new golf carts at the Pryor Creek Golf Course. Bids received, Clear Creek Golf Car and utility vehicles in the amount of $237,345, and Yamaha Golf Car Company in the amount of $312,336.
Now, one thing I think we need to make a change on right there is on the agenda item, it's 60 golf carts and 3 utility carts.
Okay.
Plus 3 utility
Yeah,
carts.
the 3 utility carts on there.
Dennis, I'll let you take it from there. Has everybody had a little bit of time to look at them and read them and
but we don't have, it does have
utility carts, just not the number?
Clear Creek Golf Car and 3 utility carts.
The bids all have the utility carts in there, just the agenda item is the only thing,
Just get the counts right.
yeah.
So I think from the last meeting, one set of carts is 6,900 and one set is 5,600, or something like that. Is that,
Yeah.
am
It's
I
right up here.
close? Huh?
Right here, I think.
Where we at? Okay, I hadn't got to today, so I was taking my notes last
That was
night.
close.
It's $75,000 roughly, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Per cart, what's the per cart difference?
Is this what you're looking for? And then this,
No, that's just the payment.
okay, all right.
I was looking, the per cart cost embedded in all of this is, one set of carts are 6,900 and one set of carts are 5,600. Am I accurate in that still? That was my notes from.
Yep, I believe so, yep.
So there's about $1,300 difference per cart.
Here we go.
So, quick math, 1,300 times 60, but we've also got 3 utility carts in there. But if it was $60, or 60 carts and $1,300 difference per cart, is that what you've got, Ron?
Yeah, I just had the per cart. I was looking
Okay,
at it on a
that's-
per cart basis,
That's 78,000.
so that's about right.
It's,
General
it's,
numbers.
it's close,
Yeah,
close
okay.
enough.
So, did anybody get to go drive the carts or?
I did.
I have.
And?
I have.
The Yamahas were much quieter than the
Club car.
club car, yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
They're noticeably quieter. Ride different, in my opinion, as well, but did you?
No, I didn't. I went through and got myself educated on decibels.
Yeah.
I think everybody got
Yeah.
the deal.
Yeah.
That was good.
Well, so I've got a couple of questions and I want to propose it to our group up here.
And I do have some comments too, so I
Okay.
didn't.
I'm glad you did, because
Go
you.
with the juggler here on that.
Okay, well, so here's some of my thoughts. I'd like to sell the carts, but I don't wanna use the money against the purchase. And I'd rather have that money, put it in the money market, because I think if you look at your money that you're gonna make back in interest,
So not trade the ones we have now, not trade them in?
I'd rather sell them and use the money.
Can
Towards-
they be sold for the same as we're getting?
Yeah, you're really not talking about the sales price of what we're gonna get for the carts. You're talking about making sure the money goes into a sinking fund or a bank
Yeah.
that we get paid interest on it, rather than just putting it into,
Instead of just putting it back in the carts, use that money for other projects we got coming up.
Okay, start over.
So.
Help me.
So in other words, instead of, for instance, the trade-in value, if we bought the Yamahas, the total original price is $447,336
Without trade-in,
without trade-in. They give us a trade-in of $135,000.
okay?
If you look at the math on that $135,000 and put it into sinking fund or any money
Yeah, money
market,
market
you're,
fund.
and the rates right now are crazy.
So my question, I get you. My question would be then, the trade-in of 135,000, will that play out in the market if we didn't trade them in and paid full price? Who are you gonna sell them to?
Well, my understanding, go ahead and trade them in and take their.
With money, yeah. Instead of applying the money toward the note, we would just apply it.
Why
We
don't
just
you
use it.
explain the process on how that process for trade-ins? is
But
going
if you don't trade them in and you find.
We'll trade them in, they're gonna give us money for it, but instead of taking that $135,000 and applying it toward the purchase of it, you're taking that money and applying, using it for money market.
You're gonna finance that, and it's a cash-out deal.
Yeah.
It's cash-out
There you
refi
go.
or something.
There you
Okay,
go.
I got you.
Yeah.
And that, if you look at the money market right now, there's nobody waving a flag saying, don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get a return on it, but I don't know that you'll get the return of the lease expense. I mean, usually in the marketplace, what you pay for money and what you charge to rent it out, there's a margin.
Right.
And so in the marketplace.
That's called
usually-
the net,
That's called the net interest spread.
net interest spread.
People like to get to like 165 or something like that. But, yeah, so it just kind of depends. But then the markets vary. You may have some, what we call, got some crazy people paying rates over there. You got some crazy people loaning for this over there. So you can play that back and forth and maybe break even or maybe come out ahead. I don't know. One of them is tax exempt financing, which helps on the interest rate expense, right? Okay, and you're gonna go and put that out there in an environment that, you're gonna get paid non-tax exempt, you're gonna get paid a little bit more on it. That margin may be there, I don't know. What's the rate on these, 2.4? something
It's
like
on that second
tax.
the next agenda item. but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the rate for,
that? What's the market, have we know what the market is on, this is a 3-year deal?
48 month.
I wonder what the market is out on 48 months now. What's the treasuries? Probably,
Mr. President, I
probably
figured
3.5, maybe?
we're at 4.25.
What are we,
4.25 is what the interest rate they want for it, so point and a quarter.
okay, that's the best rate. You know, I think that's a good thought to follow through on, but the question is, can you get that much? Okay?
Yeah.
And how much do you want to compromise just so you can have the cash over here? I mean, it's kind of like seeding the money so we can do some other things.
Right,
So there's
that's,
some value
that's
to that,
exactly the thought process that I was trying to go by was, so if, somebody might look at, well, it's just $135,000 fees.
Yeah.
Well, okay, how much is that gonna put, interest toward, or what other things can I use that $135,000? Not me personally, but, if you're looking at it from a standpoint of what can we use that other money for then?
Yeah.
Is that enough money to build out our,
How much are we
Parking,
yeah, how
or
much are we
parking
willing to
area, I
pay for
mean,
that?
huh?
You're just borrowing the money, how much are you willing to pay for that, to have that extra fund sitting there? And what's the real differential? Is it
well,
percent or, I don't know. I think it's a good thought. There's something to be said for having money reserves to accomplish what we're gonna start to look at. Liquidity
well,
is
and,
important.
after the end of the year, you're gonna have what left in the bank after probably bathrooms? Do we have any idea?
we got close to 500,000 last month, so, yeah, we really,
That's what I'm saying.
we're doing pretty good up there.
If we do that, does that go into an account that can't be touched elsewhere by the city?
if we do a money market, yes, because it's done by, Lori Blue. And she would put it out, she would shop it and tell us
Yeah,
what her
we put it
rates
out for
are.
bid, but it would go within the coffers of the golf. And-
I
yeah,
don't
correct.
know that that's, if the city commingles.
I don't think they
funds.
can they?
We have a book, we can show on the books that we've got This one's surplus.
Right.
It's reserved. Now, do they set up a separate account for the golf course?
No, I don't think so.
No. So it is, it's all on paper.
Right.
But it's commingled funds in the
I could
bank.
ask Lori.
But
But
the
I
thing,
think
yeah,
we
it's all
can
gonna be in one
invest
account.
it.
I'm not so concerned about the,
So
Credit.
we can direct where the money goes for the golf course.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
can we protect it in the golf course umbrella of funds? I mean, it could be commingled, and I don't question the viability of the city and the funds they have or anything like that. It'll be there, okay? But I just wouldn't want it to get put in an account, and then all of a sudden, we have some things come up that are real important in other pockets of the city. I don't want that to be a target.
It's where they can pull it and go, we're gonna
Yeah.
use that.
Right.
I think we
I don't
would
think
wanna-
they can,
I
if
don't
I'm
think they
mistaken.
can
What
either.
Lori told me, cause
Okay.
actually I visited a little bit about it, cause it was just it'd been rattling around my head, because we
Yeah.
had talked about it time before. And I was
Right.
like, well, why not think about that? Because, yeah, it's not a great deal of money, but it's still enough money to where you need to, you need to think about
If
it.
you need
Yeah.
to do something, you have
The
to.
fire department does that when they,
Yeah.
I understand, when they buy a fire truck, they just
Yep.
keep stacking their money in a CD or whatever they, money market.
If it can be
account they use.
protected, I think that's something it's reasonable to consider. And it may cost us a little bit, because we're gonna be financing maybe at a little higher rate than maybe what we'll get. But, the liquidity of that money and what we're trying to do and accomplish, by extending the dollars in the term on the golf courts creates some more abilities financially for us.
I beat it up.
Sounds good, good thought.
Yeah. That's not a bad thought.
I mean,
How do you think the city's gonna think about that?
Who I was looking at.
Just you all here down the road?
I don't know. I mean, I think all we're really interested in is, I think, first of all, is the parks, as an enterprise fund, the golf course, getting the interest off of the surplus, the excess fund? What do you,
Oh.
making sure that we get the credit for that.
Will they give it to us?
Yeah, and
Where's the
they may do it. I haven't dug into that.
Where does the interest go off of the $500,000?
I think it goes into our account.
it does,
Okay,
it does.
so that answers that question.
We used to have 100,000 in an account at one time. And it made a little bit of interest. It was so small back then. I don't remember what it made,
Well,
but
things, yeah, I know what
we had a little
Years-
safety account.
within the past,
Yeah.
what, 3 or 4 years after the big financial deal that, I mean, CDs and stuff they're down below 4% now. I think they're about, what, 3.6, 3.7?
About 4 years, you might be 3.5 or something
Yeah.
like that. So it's gonna cost you a percent to do that.
Yeah.
On that 135.
But it's an extra 5,000 or 6,000,
It's not, I mean,
high.
there might be more benefit in it than the cost. I
Yeah.
think, I'd kinda lean that way.
So that's what you were,
Because we got lots of things in front of us.
Well, I mean, when you do the golf carts, to me, that's a lot of money, and I think it's something, okay, well, it doesn't seem like it's that much. Well, okay, what if we get to a point before our 4 years is up, and then it says, hey, we need about 10 more. Well, guess what? We got enough money setting in reserve right now. We can buy this many more right now. That's a lot easier to overcome. Or what if something happens, whatever the what ifs.
It's just
These
gonna
are
impact,
covered.
it's gonna impact the future budgets. That money will all be spent on an annual basis over the next 5 years? Was it 5, 4?
48
years. I see the value in the liquidity that increases the liquidity of the ability to fund projects in the next 2 or 3 years. Okay,
Agreed.
with that extra pool of money.
So do we need a motion, or?
Well,
Can we
what other
can we
questions?
change this?
Jay?
Oh.
What
would specifically be the change you'd be recommending?
Just that,
Finance the full amount.
yeah, I think, how's it read? I don't have my notes. All we're doing is talking about what we're gonna buy them for, the amount, the purchase amount. Which would be it'd either be 312 or 237.45. You're still gonna buy that amount, only difference is,
Well,
it's
this
just
is,
the total value would be different.
Yeah.
these are the numbers with the trade-in value then,
So we'd had to change that.
to 447 or 372 here, yeah.
So we would be proposing to finance the full amount, okay?
Right.
Of which 300, all but 135 would go for the acquisition of carts. And the other 135, the value of the trade-in that we're financing would go back into the capital account.
Yeah, they'd write, whichever company you went with would write us a check for the 135. We'd write them a check for the 447.
Would they do that?
I would suppose they would, but I'd have to ask them.
Let's just real quick walk through that. We do the 435, that's, we're gonna finance the whole thing.
Whole ball.
And we know what the interest rates are gonna be.
Yep.
They're gonna be
4.23.
4.23, so we're gonna pay 4.23 on that money. Right?
On the
On the
full price?
On the full price. Because we're inflating how much,
Yeah, it's gonna be
We're-
more.
and we're gonna earn, you got, to break even, you gotta earn 4.25, right?
Yeah.
Whatever their interest rate is.
Probably won't
So-
do that.
That's what we need to know is, can we earn more than they are?
How long is it? 4 years?
Yep,
Yeah.
48 months.
I mean, that's the mechanics of the analysis.
I'm just gonna use big numbers, 135,000, and you're gonna basically be borrowing that, okay? Your spread on that, let's say it's 75% because you're gonna put it where you can get 3.5, if you wanna make those assumptions. So if you're gonna 3.5%, 7.75 basis points, is $1,000 a year. You do that for 4 years, but it pays down, so you take that in half. It looks like the ticket on that, the extra cost will be around $2,000.
To have the availability of the money setting that we would have access to it.
Right.
But we would pay more.
We end up
To
paying
have-
$2,000 more than we'd be paying $2,000 more than we'd be making.
Now, if you think that, you heard we got a new central Fed guy,
Got a what?
May,
central bank,
Okay.
and, they control the interest rates. Do we think interest rates are gonna go up or go down?
we're gonna go down.
If the president has his way, they're gonna go down, that's.
Well,
the
if you're gonna
biggest
do that, you would try to lock that in if you can, unless you can't do that.
Well, if you're gonna lose borrowing all that money, you're gonna pay a little bit of a premium to have access to that money, right? $2,000.
That's at $2,000. And if you just put it in with a variable rate that goes with the economy, it's likely to be a little more.
Yeah.
Because rates probably over the next 3 or 4 years will be less.
If you think we can outguess the market, that's
Well,
kind of.
I'm not gonna.
No, I know I'm just talking, when you get into the mechanics of it.
Right.
But if we needed that money to fund the golf course, we're not going out again and trying to find money. And there's some benefits in having that cash available. That,
Is it getting too complicated for the city council to absorb and
Well, I guess my thought process is one, what you said, but I also didn't want to put us in a position to where,
it gets so complicated, they go,
Yeah,
you
well-
don't want to do that.
no, but it's also, just like, we can understand what we're talking about, what we're wanting, and the mechanics, why to do this. And to tell one of those, who knows? But if I went to the city council and I'm a dentist, I say, hey, we need $135,000 we need this, and this, they're gonna look at you, where you gonna get the money at? We got that in the budget, and it would be, you know, what do we do then? And so, I guess that's where I'm kinda at is.
And I think though we might have, through this discussion you initiated here, based on, I think what we've heard is, this money is identified, set aside
Right.
to the golf course fund. And so it's out there, and I'm assuming that those are segregated, even though, you know, that we can always identify and those are available.
And it's protected.
Yeah,
You know,
but, you know, it's a
think-
good question to ask.
I think it's important to try to keep it as simple as we can,
Keep it simple, Steve.
okay? As we would present that, and maybe that approach is that,
I mean, I'm just,
with the golf course surpluses, operating surpluses year to year, we feel it's reasonable that, with a lot of margin, that the golf course can afford to finance all of these and pay them out of their annual budget as an operating expense. And to do that, the people have agreed to buy them from us, and we will keep those money in reserve for other needs.
so I got a question.
Don't try to. Yeah.
So I want you to put this, because I don't think you've thought of this yet. How much do they cut your budget a year? Do you ever get budget cuts, or do they ever say you gotta cut like 5%, 6%, or whatever? Do they ever ask?
Well, I mean, our budget's always kind of based on what our revenues are the year before.
So if you have a down year in revenue,
Yeah,
they're gonna cut your
Yes,
budget by
yeah.
that much.
And just so that we all know, though, we don't really budget revenues
yeah,
in the golf course.
yeah,
We budget expenses,
right.
and we have to know that we can't exceed those expenses.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of the theory, but we don't, you won't see a revenue sheet for the golf course that's on the books.
The way it basically,
It's crazy, I
Yeah.
know, but that's,
I mean,
that's the way
so,
we do
so if
government
you do have a
account.
down year, let's say that something happened, you have a down year, I mean, theoretically, they could go, guess what? Now you have that money there to make for that. You know, if it was $100,000 difference that you was gonna have to make up, that money would be ready right then.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be in a position going, hey, where are we gonna find $100,000?
But here's, and this is really a relevant point in discussion, because what we've just identified is the bank of last resort for the golf course is the city.
Yes, exactly.
So if we don't, that's the reason when we have these discussions and we talk about, we've got a surplus now. But all of us,
I
three of
can
us were
remember.
here, we know when we sat and we needed equipment,
Oh,
we didn't
God.
have the money. So where'd we go? The city.
Yep.
And the city is the one that put the money in. Now, the way that things are set up with enterprise funds is, the city can give us money, but we can't give the city money.
right.
Those are the rules. And I don't know why that is, but that's the way that it
If we
is.
gave them money, then they open the door for them maybe wanting more. We don't want to do that.
And you're gonna hear me talk about in just a second about, that's something we always have to keep in mind, is our ability to manage ourselves as a golf course and not be dependent on the city because of the situation we've currently got in. We're running a tight budget for the city, and it can only, you know, if it's the last resort and they don't have the funds, then we've taken on some risk for the golf course. We just have to be aware that that's how this thing works.
So, I just don't want to jeopardize us, getting things moving around too much and the city not being able to make a decision and get these things approved to get them booked.
No,
So,
the only thing I wanna do, I mean, I like what you said, and I think that's how we go at that, and I think that's what we change our
Why don't we?
vernacular to it.
What if, let's bat this around a little bit. What if we said we recommend that we buy whatever carts they are. And this is the financing, and we have Plan A, which would be, we would finance 100%, and they buy the carts back to us, which goes into our capital reserve, okay? Or we allow the trade-in and lease or borrow the lesser amount, okay? So that they have a choice, or do we want to give them that choice?
I'll give them a choice,
Okay. Okay.
because they'll take the cheapest of the two.
Will they?
Oh, God, yeah. We'd
Okay.
had to make a strong argument why it was,
Have they seen some of this before? Are they expecting the trade-ins to be there and the values to be at this? Is this going to be a change in in what they've looked at? Has it gone to
I'm not-
them before for a vote?
Yeah, no, it hasn't went to them for a vote. I mean, I'm not sure what any of them, what their knowledge is of this deal here. I don't know what
So
they
the
know.
worst-case scenario, they go, no. And we gotta come back and do the trade-in thing and go on. What's the ups and downs of that?
there's not. I'm just looking at it from, if we're trying to put a dollar out there for the what ifs, that's my caveat, is the what if.
I think it's valid. I just, of course, I'm not a political guy, so I don't understand all those things that are gonna happen up at the city council, and I know the monies have been a real issue and a challenge for them and things like that, so I'd defer those kind of just insights to you all. You have a better feel on it than I do.
I think one of them is, we come in next month and we've got, if we had completed all this, we've got 300 or 500,000, whatever it is that we've got in the bank, or we've got 650,000 in the bank. Is it good or bad to have, in a risk in public boards like we are, is not everybody's at the same point of view or same background or same experience. And some people say, we got $650,000, let's go spend it. And, that's, now I think all of us that have been through all these discussions, we're gonna go, no, that's not just because we got the money in the bank. We've got uses for that money down the road. But some people, I can tell you, I have served on boards that, as you get turnover in these boards, the new board comes in, you find out, well, they bought tractors, and they bought all kinds of, now this isn't golf course, this actually was Little League Baseball. And somebody went out and saw, oh, we got some money, let's go spend it. And they did. We started off about 10,000 in the hole to begin with, trying to make ends meet.
Yep.
And so that's, is it good or bad? My personal perspective is there's probably not enough money to be made that it's worth paying the higher interest rate. I mean, we're gonna pay more money to get this flexibility. And if we get to the point that we don't have the money to fund the golf course, we probably shouldn't fund it. We shouldn't put the risk on the city.
So you're gonna say,
I'm,
I want you to, I'd rather you be upfront and,
Well, I just don't know if it's, if we can't fund it, we're gonna have to go to the city. And of the priorities of the city, we're all
right,
citizens, and somebody can come and talk to us about how if the city doesn't have funds, and don't quote me on this, but I think it falls back to revenue bonds. They assess bonds against the citizens, the homeowners,
Yeah, I'll go back on ad valorem.
and it goes,
Well,
sound like you know more about it than
Well,
I.
no, cities separate from the county. I don't know. It would go into judgment somehow and have to
Yeah.
get paid for.
And I think the citizens end up having to pay it.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're running that tight.
I don't think that's, I don't think that could happen, but the
Yeah.
mindset's there. Is that what you're saying?
What's that?
The mindset's there.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was my only thing, was I just wanted to at least put it out there. If we want to do it, you know, I did mention to, Lori about it a little bit, just for the simple fact I was kind of getting a, you know, feel, you know, what that would look like. And just for the simple fact, if something happens, we needed money, we got extra money, and it's not tied, it
Yeah.
wasn't directly to Tide, and how would we go get it, other than what we're doing now? Which, you know, I'm not opposed to, I mean, using the 135 for it. It's just, is there something out there that we don't know that we're gonna need? And
It would just be set aside for, in the capital, isn't there a capital
Yeah, it's
improvement, but for capital
yearly one.
expenditures?
It's just on the yearly budget.
And so,
it wouldn't be on his though, because the golf courses.
so it's just your yearly capital.
My
budget.
yearly
It doesn't say
capital.
this is a pool
Right.
of money that's
No,
for capital.
it's not a, yeah, that's just what, when we look at that.
Well, you can put it in now, but over
Account.
4 years, it would end up being there anyway.
Yeah.
So
Good, it's a good thought, though. It's something, given dependencies.
Just,
I don't-
just what we've seen,
Yeah.
it's like, well, do I roll the dice and try to talk to you all about it and see if it's worth worth doing, and do you think it would pay off?
Well-
And
I just don't want it to muddy the water so much. They go, oh, you doing, you know?
But here's the deal. I mean, you guys are talking finance, it's way above where I live most of the time, but I do understand what you're saying. And so I kind of like the idea, of let's give it a try. And it's only and if they say no, then the next month you just come back and redo it the way we've originally planned here.
we're.
Is it trading, instead of trading in, we would like to just sell them?
Well, I think we do it either way.
But the $2,000 basically that you're saying is the difference. If you spread that out over 4 years, it's 2,000 over 4 years, right?
It's over 4
That's,
years.
so that's.
I don't know. Those are Ron's calculations.
That's assuming a 75% negative spread on the money,
Okay.
75
But anyway.
basis points.
You know, but that's spread over 4 years, and so that's a $500 be a negligible number. If that number happened to be $4,000 instead of 2,000, that'd be $1,000.
It's still not huge
That's not a huge amount of money.
to have that extra.
Yeah.
The only thing I got to say is,
Okay.
we need golf carts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got events in March, and, I mean, if,
Well-
I can't
Okay,
keep
that's-
putting it off another month.
So let's keep it, the only change is we're gonna add make sure that the 3 utility carts are on there.
So before you'd say, it sounds like it would be a good idea if someone that could talk to the council and make it as easy as possible.
Somebody could
Understand,
articulate it to them.
articulate it so they see the advantage.
Yeah.
see, and I think there's a good chance they'll just look at that and go, no.
To them, that's a small number, and they'll just.
Yeah, they just say,
I
they
guess.
don't trade it in. Yeah, I'm
Some-
antsy,
even
I
the
like
stuff-
it, I
even
like it, but I'm
stuff-
antsy about it, because I don't want to confuse the issue, and they probably never dealt with anything like this, where they're gonna buy the carts back, and they're gonna keep the money, and then they're gonna finance, they've always traded them in, they're gonna,
Somebody, and then it'll get put in a paper to
Yeah.
such a way, it'll
Okay.
be all
Yeah.
over the board.
And then, when they dealt with the fire and police station, they had some bad leases over there, and they just worked real hard to get rid of those.
yeah.
All right,
They probably, I would think they're gun shy on that myself.
let's just go with the way it's printed.
Good discussion.
All
Yeah.
that work for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, no.
good conversation.
No, I like having
Mr.
cash
Jackson,
in
see how
hand.
this
Yeah.
works?
Yeah, I do, but I like having cash in hand.
I do
Yeah.
too.
And,
Cash is king.
That's right.
Somebody check, nobody, if you walk up with cash or credit
It'll
card.
work its way over there in 4 years, so.
All right, so
okay.
No, and what are we voting on here on number 5?
number 5 is to, which card are we buying? We buying the Yamahas, or we buying the, Clear Creek?
Okay.
What's the dentist's recommendation?
Yamaha, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I'm.
It's it really is hands down between the two.
Did any, city council people come and drive the carts when you had them here?
Not that I'm aware of.
I
didn't
think-
know if they had a list, I don't know. if
I,
they-
I think,
like-
I think
I
somebody
didn't make them sign it,
did,
no.
somebody did, and I don't remember who it was.
I think one of them did, but
Smith?
I'm not sure. I didn't have them sign
Was it
it.
Smith, I think, drove it? Anyway, somebody,
Yeah.
well, I know one of them did.
So,
It is hands down difference.
Yeah.
so I know we
I
have.
didn't, I didn't compare the other one. I drove the one out
It's okay.
there, and it's nice.
Yeah.
And it's quiet. It's kind of like, is this all
He
right?
couldn't even tell us the gas.
So we do have a city council member that's a golfer, Brown.
Yeah, Tyler Brown.
Yeah. I mean, you know, maybe he could say a good word for,
Understand the difference.
you know, instead of coming from one of us, coming from a.
Well, and I think I know how this is, I think everybody's kind of stated their position. And I'll state mine is, I look at this and I see $75,000 to benefit us if we go with the cheaper bid, right? When I look at the two carts, and I didn't do a lot of research, but I came away with the perception that club car is a good aluminum framed car. It's, some people identify it as the Cadillac, a term that I read. And when I see these two, what goes to my mind is, I've got this side that I can pay an extra $75,000 for the Yamahas, or I got this one I'm saving $75,000 I can keep on the books in the bank. And the simple well, I'm not this relevant, but looking at that, my first reaction is we're gonna have $75,000 available to us if we go with the club car over a period of 4 years. And what impact do you think that decision is going to have on the golf course revenues or expenses? I mean, I know I'm starting out $75,000 to the good.
Right, yeah.
And when I look at revenues and expenses, is it gonna impact revenues or expenses?
You know,
Which one I go with?
Right, I don't know, that it would impact the revenue or expenses. It's you know, we're kind of used to the quieter carts now, those are a lot louder. I don't know what the impact of that would be. I mean,
Literally,
I can't-
Let me give you this perspective, okay? Things to consider. The Yamaha carts, I think we all understand, are better, okay?
that's what most,
And outside of any maintenance issues that might come up with a lesser cart as opposed to a better cart, that aside, okay, whether there's less maintenance or more maintenance, set all that aside. And let's look at the money that you pay for them, okay? You gotta look at the money you're gonna get on the back end too, okay? If you if you buy a Kia, it might be worth 30% of the purchase price in 4 years. If you buy a Cadillac, it's probably gonna be worth 50, okay? There's a difference there. And so I.
Let me just ask you a question though, because I know where you're going.
Okay,
Do you know that there's a difference?
no, the what?
Do you know that there's a difference in the resale value?
I've made an assumption, okay?
Is it an informed assumption?
No, but I was gonna throw that out there and
Okay.
see what everybody thinks. But let's just assume that the cheaper one depreciates to 10% more than the more expensive ones, okay, than the cost. So the cheaper ones, they'll be worth 10% less trade-in. I mean, let's say instead of 50, they'll be worth 40, okay? And let's say that the new ones, instead of 40, they'll be worth 50% of their purchase price. That's the break even, okay? Because if you take the cost of $1,300 a cart, and then you incorporate that thought into what the resale or trade-in will be, it's a wash.
Okay,
You make up that 13%. It's worth $1,300 more at the end, then, that pays for that $1,300 you paid for. So it doesn't all run on the drain if in fact a 10% more rapid depreciation is a good number. If, and I don't know. Now,
I'd
so.
say you're close. I think you're really close with those numbers.
Well, let me give you information that I have.
Okay,
And the information I have is that a city official, City of Pryor, has gone out and done some research.
okay,
And their research says Club Car has a higher resale value than the Yamaha. It's got an aluminum frame. They last longer.
percentage-wise,
Yeah.
okay.
And so I don't think, we can, I know we're trying to get a decision made, but there's somebody that has made that statement that they did the research and found out. Club Car is the cars that we used to have here, right, Dennis? When we had to, didn't we use them on the electric, when we had electric cars? What we have back?
Easy goes. It's the only thing
Easy
we've
Go.
had since I've been here.
Okay. So you don't know that the resale value is different?
I
You don't-
do, as far as, now, when you talk electric cars, the Club Car is the better quality car, electric. Gas cars, I have not seen that in the market on the used side that I have seen.
If we had that number, and I don't know who we could trust, would that change your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know.
And
But it's not a $1,300 throwaway anyway. I mean, it'll be some throwaway, or maybe it'll be break even. 10% says it's break even, but it's not a $1,300 throwaway because you are gonna get more for the more expensive car. Okay, I mean, it's not gonna depreciate $1,300 faster than the other one. Okay, that means it would have to depreciate like 25% more than the other one. So, even if you're gonna get some better value for the trade-in. And then what we're talking about is a way to maybe support that decision. And hopefully we're not making numbers lie, right? You can do a lot of things with numbers, but some of that is gonna carry over. Some of
Yeah,
that
our
value
saying
may-
used to be, in God we trust, everybody else bring your numbers. That's the discussion, and to your point. If the city council, though, were listening to this, and by their time they got to their meeting, we had that answer, what would your answer be, recommendation?
Let me tell you right now. Typical used price ranges. Club car, gas carts, roughly 3,500 to 8,000, varies by years, conditions, and features. Yamaha gas golf carts, roughly 3,200 and 7,500. So you're talking $500 either way. Less than $500 actually.
But the Yamaha is less resale value.
$300.
On the gas?
On the club car is 3,500 and Yamaha is 3,200.
Is that on gasoline or?
Gas, on a gas cart. At the top end, it was 7,500 for a Yamaha and club car is 8,000. So you're either way, you're
So it goes the
$300 to $500 either way. So you're
It goes
talking-
the other way then.
Yeah, it would show that club car would be better, but what's your feature benefits of it? Do you require to running? I mean, it does say both brands are well respected, but resale values difference can depend on age, conditions, service history, local demand, accessory upgrades. Bottom line, club car gas carts generally have a slight edge in resale value due to higher brand demand and strong longevity reputation. Yamaha gas carts also hold a value well and can be very close in resale price, sometimes equal or slightly lower, depending on market and year model. If you want even more, it's if you want more information. But, I mean, you're talking apples and, one's green, one's red.
And it's basically, it neutralizes the resale value part of this. It doesn't neutralize that you can buy one for $75,000 cheaper than you can buy the other one.
Yeah, no, right.
And let me just say this, because I can tell we're all sitting up here, and this is an awkward situation. Dennis, I mean, you know how I feel about Dennis. The reason we've got what we've got is because of Dennis. And he's a department head. And here we are, numbskulls off of the street, and we walk in here and we play golf. Some of you play golf, but we don't have any idea the background that he got. And he says, Yamaha.
Yeah, and and
My whole point to that is, it's the quiet technology. Now, Yamaha makes a less expensive gas cart that we could have bid on, but we just want the quiet
Well,
technology.
that's the reason that I ask you, because I want to start out is, do you think that going with the $75,000 cheaper cart is going to have a negative impact on revenues or expenses? And I think your answer was, not that you know of, you're not aware of anything, but,
I can't
Hey.
see it being that much of an impact, but I don't know, they're, louder cart, so I don't know.
and let me challenge you on that.
I'm good with any of them, tell you the truth.
This is pretty remarkable technology that Yamaha has, that
Yeah.
they can quiet
Yeah.
those gas cars.
Yeah,
But, here's the but. The but is, we have always ran, I'm assuming we would agree that electric cars are quieter than gas cars.
not by much, but a little bit, yeah.
But,
Of the Yamaha, the quiet tech, just a
Yeah.
little bit, so
Yeah.
it's not much.
but they are louder.
Yes,
And we moved away from electric cars to go to gas cars. And I don't know, we can talk about why we did that, but it wasn't enough of an increase with these gas cars that the noise level that we added to the course because we went to gas instead of electric that we had last time, that it hadn't been a problem. So
Right.
I don't think the issue is, I'm challenging that the issue really is the noise. That it's worth $75,000.
right, yeah, it's a lot of money for just noise.
yeah,
So
we went one way and it wasn't an issue. Now, if we go the other way, is it really gonna be an issue to pay for?
Yeah. But the question is, why pay for it? If it's not gonna impact our revenues or expenses, or
Right.
the resale value, and we get the same trade-in, what's our rationale to the people that are sitting and listening to this, and the city council, to say, we just think we ought to go spend $75,000 more?
And in 4 years, you'll know the difference. If
Yeah.
it is,
And
Well, if if there's not if the assumption that the lesser valued cart depreciates more rapidly, if that's a bad assumption, then those numbers are real. Then that
Okay.
75,000 number stays.
So to add
You
some,
don't make up for it.
so to add just because, just curious, some dealers in industry sites described that this is a quiet tech, almost as quiet as an electric cart.
they're quite-
Almost.
Considerably that a club car is 70%, high 60s to low 70 decibel range on a club car.
Do we have, okay.
So it's considerably louder than that Yamaha, that club car is considerably louder. Does that make a difference? I don't know, if you run 60 of them at a time.
Do you think we're gonna have, I'll ask you, do you guys, and I'm gonna caution you against rationalizing an answer that you've already got in your head. We gotta be open-minded and
Yep,
think about this. Are we gonna lose play because we're driving
A club
a
car,
club car that people say it's too loud?
so here's, to your part on the Cadillac and the Kia. Does a club car have the same technology that we can put in for the GPS and everything else?
Oh, yeah, I think,
Is it
yeah.
standard on any of their models, or is it
Well,
an
yeah,
aftermarket after thing?
The unit that we would buy would be versatile on either cart, I think.
So there's a push on that.
Yeah, the GPS, I think, is a push. And they may even, I don't know if, Club Car has a better GPS than what we was looking at or not. I'd have to check with them.
If there's positives for a club car, what's the positives, I guess?
One that,
Besides the
Start
quiet
with
tech?
$75,000 cheaper.
right,
Okay.
so that
How do you,
seventy-five,
that's why I wanna know, why is it the value over 60 cars, which is,
that 75,000 would pay for your GPS.
Let's play city council. You're making this presentation, or we're gonna vote on it, and they go, why would you pay $75,000 more for these cards?
The only reason I would is if y'all wanted to stay with the quiet tech.
$1,250.
That's the only
How
reason.
much?
$1,250 per cart
Yeah.
higher.
Yeah. Because of the quietness of them?
Yeah, that's,
So for
that's the only,
$26 a
based on what
month.
everything I've heard, and read, that's the only difference is you're getting quiet technology or you're not.
So for $26 a month, is it worth $26 a month?
Is your maintenance different?
I don't think it would be much difference. I really don't. I don't know that much about the maintenance of I just haven't had a gasoline club car, so
Kind of, here's my thought.
I don't think
okay?
the
I'll
maintenance
just kind of
is
tell
that
my thought, because there's dynamics here. We got a golf pro here. He's been here a long time, okay? And he knows exactly what we're talking about, and his recommendation is, okay? And so I would defer to his recommendation and let the city council decide.
That's a good idea.
That says, this is our recommendation based on, you can't compare apples to apples. It would be nice if you could, but there's some benefit here and there's some cost expense here. And our recommendation is to accept the Golf Pro's recommendation of this card.
That's what I call punting. We just punted.
Kinda.
And here's
I
what,
guess what I-
here's what I would say.
Okay.
And I've given this many times, not here, but in real life. These boards are here for a reason. And these boards are here, we represent the citizens. And they put people on these boards, I mean, we serve a lot of different functions, but ideally, we help the community, the citizens decide, where do they want to spend the park's money? Where do they want to spend the golf course money? And that's one of the roles that we play. But we owe it to the council to give them our best information, because they're looking at this and going, we've got a park board. Are they sitting here? Are they going to get involved, get engaged? Are they just going to punt it to us, and then now we have to deal with the fallout? And this is not directed at anybody in particular, but I can tell you that many conversations I had in business was with people that came to me and said, I want to be a manager. I want to be a manager. Okay, man, that's great, but let me tell you what you got to do. You got to accept accountability for making decisions and doing things. And we've got to accept the accountability that we need to weigh in on this and give them our best information. They can do with it whatever they want to do. But to punt it and just say, we're going to get, how do we explain when they're looking at this, and we've had more discussion than they're going to have, and you guys are golfers, and I guess Tyler's a golfer, and there's probably others that have golfed up there. But I feel responsible for giving them the best information that I've got, but they're going to have to make the decision. But I think we owe them a recommendation as to, and we're going to vote on this. And what you can do is vote Yamaha. But I just want to get it on the record.
Dennis, tell me how you're gonna feel if we go, yeah, we just gotta go to 75.
I'm good with either one. The thing about going with the club car is that the money you save there will pay for the GPS. So you'll have the GPS, because if you go with the Yamaha, then you still got to spend more money on the GPS. I'm good with whatever y'all do, really. I am, and I think some great points have been brought up. Chris has brought up some good points. Everybody has, and if, you know, so I'm gonna get new cars. That's gonna be good for us.
That kind of answers your question. You're gonna be, either way, you're gonna,
Yeah, we're getting brand new cars,
Yeah.
we're getting $75,000 in our pocket. I apologize, I'm beating this horse, I know, but
But you can make both of them work well, okay, and
And if you don't,
you can live with it.
4 years from now, if you didn't like that product, you always can switch.
Yeah. And, okay.
all right, so, question still is the same. We either doing club car or we're doing Yamaha.
I'm gonna make a recommendation.
You know, silent, write it on a paper and we're all, turn it in.
No, that would go with the club car.
Okay.
And it's the
I'm good
opportunity
with
to
it.
vote it down.
No, whatever, I'm good with whatever we want to do. I mean, I see both sides of the coin. Yeah, I mean, I've rode in just as many club cars as I have probably Yamaha.
Club car
None of
makes
them are
it-
gonna be junk cars.
Yeah.
No, they're not. That's true.
They're brand new.
So you're gonna make recommendations of club car?
You looking for a second?
Well, yes, I'm looking for.
Gotta have a second before you go to a vote.
Do we have a second for the club car? I see
Died
those-
for lack of a second.
You
That's-
gotta call 3 times by Robert's Rules Order. You gotta say
Oh.
it 3 times.
So, we have no second for a club car. Hearing none, seeing none, so the club car dies in committee, or not committee by, just died by
Yeah,
vote.
it doesn't come to a vote.
So Yamaha is the preferred cart that we're going to propose to city council to buy. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is that a motion?
So I made the motion for the Yamaha. We got a second.
Okay.
Let's do a roll call vote.
Sure, one sec. Reeser,
Yes?
Jackson,
Yes.
Graves,
No,
Shelby.
Yes. Discuss possible recommend council action accepting finance or lease purchase quote to be recommended by the park board for 60 new golf carts for a 48-month term. Quotes received, Bank of Commerce rates at 4.25, First Priority at 5.75, and RCB at 4.23.
That's all black and white, apples to apples. So I think we about have to take the least one. Who's the least one?
RC.
RCB is at 4.23.
Oh, I probably ought not make that motion.
Jesus, you gonna abstain?
I move that we go with RCB Bank.
Okay. Have a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Okay, Jackson,
Yes.
Graves,
Yes,
Shelby,
Yes.
Reeser.
Yes.
Number 8, adjourn. Motion?
What if I had something I wanted to ask?
Okay.
Okay, this is a totally new subject.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yep.
All right. I've had several of my
we can't-
pickleball friends want to encourage us to think about using the swimming pool, filling it with raw. No?
That's a new meeting. We can add it. We didn't put it on our agenda though.
So a special meeting, you're not allowed to talk about unfinished business.
Okay, that's fine. We
Even
can
in
talk
the
about it
hall,
all.
even in the hallway?
We can talk about it in the hallway.
As long as like less than 3 of you talk about it in the hallway, then that's fine.
Okay.
I got an idea for that. It's on top.
So we'll have another meeting for
Yeah.
that.
All right. So adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Did anybody make a
Okay.
motion or
I
a
hear what you're
second
saying.
for that?
I wanted to say this, but you're right.
Okay.
Yamaha.
You know what I think might be punishment?
RCB.
To adjourn?
Reeser did.
That's the easy.
Okay.
Okay. Chris,
Is there a second?
Jackson.
I'll second it.
Okay.
What
From
do
one
you-
perspective.
But what do you, but what are you gonna say when somebody asks you,